Ty Simpson out of Alabama. He's 6'2", 210 pounds. He's on the consensus board. He's at 18. So this is definitely a guy that if the Steelers wanted to move up and get him, they could. So it's someone I'm sure they'll be looking at very, very closely. The problem is Alabama is not a school that you associate with good quarterback transitioning into the NFL. That's the first red flag for me. You know, Tua, have any of them really worked out? Mac Jones doesn't seem to work. Ty Simpson, though, let's talk about him. I think he's a developmental dude. I think he's got nice traits, but I think he needs time. I don't think he's NFL ready. 1 year starter. Now, he was a 5-star recruit out of Tennessee. In 2025, 15 starts, 3,567 passing yards, 64.5% completion. Not bad, not brilliant, a little bit under average. 7.5 yards per attempt, 28 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Great mentals. Love the vision. I love the poise, awareness, the field reading, all that I like. However, it's the lack of real elite tools, which I didn't really see. And I think that's capping his stock a little bit. Like, he's a good intangible guy, but not a great physical guy. I don't know if you agree with me here, but I thought he played with the energy of a fly. He seems to be moving faster than everyone else around him, and he's kind of a little bit skittish. Put me on the edge. He didn't, you know, you get like a quarterback who's smooth in the pocket and just calm and just delivers with timing. I didn't feel like that with Ty. It felt like he's kind of, everything's a bit rushed and a bit hurried. But I did like his vision. I saw him read across the whole field, you know, keeping his base alive, moving, making right decisions, throw, escape. Yeah, and when he does throw, he's got zip on the ball, sometimes a little bit too much zip, but he's got strong release. He can really spin it, but he's got a looping throwing motion when he drives the ball to the boundary, and he has to lean awkwardly into some of the more powerful throws, which says to me he's got an average at best NFL arm. I thought he lacks a bit of touch. I thought his accuracy drops off under pressure. You see him snatching at timing throws over the middle, especially when pressurized. That was resulting in a real drop-off in accuracy. So I think he needs to develop timing, anticipation, but his pocket awareness was pretty good. His poise was good. He's got quick feet in his stance. I thought his throwing platform was good. Not an amazing rusher. I didn't see much burst from the pocket. Adequate size, best. He reminded me a little bit of another Alabama guy, Bryce Young, without the acceleration, without the creativity out the pocket. Maybe the uniform is tricking me a little bit. Mm-hmm. I had him as an at value. Like, he's there. I think he's in the conversation if you're taking the pick, but I'm not moving in heaven and earth to try and get this guy. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree with you. Certainly, I'm also at value on there. I would 100%, if the Steelers take him, would want to know that there is a veteran already there that he can sit behind. I'd be banging the table for Rodgers to come back if Ty Simpson's the guy that we're taking. I'm really unsure about using that first round pick on him. He's only had one full season of starting. He could have gone back. He didn't. I think he's got intel that teams like him. I think his dad's head coach at UT Martin. He's grown up around the game. I think you can tell that in some areas. Goes through his progressions nicely, a good mobile quarterback. But yeah, on the lower end of completion percentages and draft eligible QBs this year, the arm talent, as you said, it was middling. I wasn't a big fan of it really at all. And it's the big time game situations. Struggled against Indiana, struggled against Georgia. It felt like the lights may have been too bright for him at times. That's why I was really hoping that he would go back another year. I think at times he can deal with pressure really well. At the LSU game, I felt he dealt with pressure really well in that one. I don't think he's physically toolsy, no, but I think he's got a good eye for the game. I think that's probably come from his dad a little bit. Solid base. He can set himself nicely, attacks the middle of the field, I think, really well. But there is a lot still to work on. He's definitely a developmental piece. Shouldn't be relied on as an immediate NFL starter.
I think I might like him a little more. The thing that worries me is he was a 1-year starter, and that doesn't go well usually in the NFL. If you look at the history, there has been Cam Newton, Mark Sanchez, Mitch Trubisky, and Kyler Murray. Cam Newton had a few seasons where he was really great, but in general, he didn't sustain it. The silver lining is he needs time. If he could sit behind an experienced, great quarterback, he could possibly do well. Because the thing with all these guys, they were all pressure to start their first season. So if you could sit this guy, I think he could be a good quarterback. He is really great throwing intermediate part of the field. He was better than any quarterback in the class. He has a 95.4 passing percentage when he's throwing in the intermediate part of the field. It's 12.5 yards per attempt. His running isn't amazing, like you said, Gab, but he does have 21 first downs last season running the ball. So he can run the ball. He just doesn't wow you. And his receivers did him no favors last year. He had 30 drop passes by his receivers last season. What I was really, really impressed was his pocket presence. I watched him against Oklahoma, and he was on his fourth read. Like most of these guys don't get past two. Mendoza does, but a lot of these guys don't get past two. He was on his fourth read, and every time he went to a new receiver, he adjusted his feet in the pocket to each one. Boom, boom. Super impressed. Like somebody really coached this guy up. I don't know. I want to win now. So I don't know if I draft him, but it's a conversation worth having. So I have him as 0, like you guys.
The things I like about him are the intangibles, like what you said there, the reading, the vision. I feel like the things that are capping him, you can't improve. Whereas if it was the other way around and it was a guy with all the tools, but not the intangibles where you can coach him up, I don't think you can max out his weak areas. That's the worry with him. That's why I feel like I'm at value with him. Yeah, he's good, but how much more are we going to get out of him than what he's delivering? He might come in, and that's why maybe he's a backup. He's a guy that's going to come in and understand the offense and go through the reads, and maybe he goes on a little run. And is he the starter? Yeah, okay, let's give him the starting job, and then he loses the job. And it's one of those guys. That's why I think his future's going to be.
I think him with a lot of these guys in the draft, their career really is going to come down to who drafts them and how much time they take with the guy and how well they can coach him up.
Maybe if he ends up in the 49ers or something, maybe he looks great. In the Arthur Smith scheme last year, not so much.
Oh, yeah.
You watch the highlights, and there's some good throws on the highlight reel. But a lot of the throwing motion, he's putting his heart and soul. He's putting every single bit of his DNA into every throw. I just worry that it's not quite enough. It feels like this is the absolute limit of his ability where he is right now.
It's a concern, for sure.